Okay, welcome everybody. We are going to show in this video few steps that you need to take to install OnSSET correctly on your computer. So, as you probably know already, OnSSET is an open source tools, an open source software for planning spatial electrification. You can find all the information and the link that we discussed in this video in the document that we share with you. And we start with a brief introduction about what is OnSSET, especially how you can find OnSSET, where you can find OnSSET in the internet. So you have here the onset.org website, where you can find the documentation, the instructions, some examples of different implementation of these models, instruction, output. And in this web page, you can find also the link to the latest documentation of OnSSET. That is the documentation that we use to prepare this workflow. Here you can see what is the model, how you install the model, and which are the different data that you need to run the model, how to correctly interpret and display the output. Then you can find here the link to the GitHub repository of the model. Is a software that's developed in Python, is open source, so you can see here all the components that are required and how you can install it. And this is what we try to do. Okay, so try to install the software directly from GitHub. And after that, in the following videos, we're going to show you also an easier way to utilize OnSSET. As we mentioned briefly, OnSSET is open source, so you can implement this model in different ways. And one of the most successful implementation of OnSSET is this global electrification platform that I suggest you to use, not only to verify and display, analyze the data, but also because there are a lot of data that are already collected for different African countries, as you can see here, and also some input and output data that you can use if you want to make your own model and change, for example, replace this public data with the data that you have available within your organization. Then we run the model and see which are the results. Okay, but let's start from the first step. The first step is to install OnSSET, the basic model. So what you need first is Python. We said that is a model that is developed in Python. So you go to python.org, downloads, you select your OS, operating system. I have Windows. If you have Windows, you select the latest version, that is 3.13. And I suggest you to use something that is above 3.6 at least of Python. The instructions say 3.5, but then also, for example, the JAP require a little bit more. So if you don't have Python, please download and install the latest version of Python. Otherwise, you can use the one that you have already installed in your machine if is above 3.6 or 3.6 at least, okay? So let's see, for example, if you want to, you download Python, this version here, the latest is 3.13. Maybe you have another one. When you try to download, it's going to be, sometimes they release new version. In my case, I have 3.13, so it is already installed on my machine, but let's say that you want to install on your machine. So install everything, okay? So you install everything with admin. Let's see, as administrator, okay. And So you have a Pi launcher, documentation, PAP, test suite. Then you go in next. And what is important when you install Python for the first time is that you, at least for our purpose, to add Python to the environment variable. Okay, so the software that we use will be able to find Python. Okay. Also, I prefer to install it in a known location, so not something that is very well hidden in your um, computers, but I install it on, in this case, I installed it on CPython uh, 3.1.3 folder. Okay, so please verify that you have add Python to environment variables selected. It's something that you can do, you can correct even after installation, but please do it now, okay? If it's the first time you install Python. So you install it, it's already installed on my machine. So you complete your installation and then you verify your installation by using the command prompt in Windows. And basically you can ask to Windows which Python is installed on your computer. You can do it in two ways. Let's use this one, Python dash capital V. It's going to tell me that I have Python 3.13. Okay, I think you can do it also with two. This by expliciting the word version is the same thing. Okay, so we are happy. That's the first step, right? Successful. So we install Python and Python is running correctly. Now, what we need to do, what I suggest you to do, is to create a virtual environment to isolate OnSSET. So to create a virtual environment, what I did, I create on C a folder. I call OnSSET training. Okay, this one. I'm gonna remove this one. Okay, empty folder, OnSSET training. And to create the virtual environment in the OnSSET training, you need to start from the root. So cd backslash, then cd my folder. So I call it OnSSET training. You can call it as you want. Okay, OnSSET the name of the country or the number of the model. Once you are within the folder, you can create a virtual environment. So Python then so virtual environment, and then the name of your virtual environment, OnSSET environment, something like that. Okay. So you create the environment. Okay. And then you activate the environment, okay? So I use the same instruction that I use on your document. So the environment, we call it OnSSET environment. So we call it OnSSET environment, and we use the scripts to activate, okay? This is the instruction for Windows. So by doing that, your environment is active. So you can see that your environment is active because it's not C anymore, but you are in OnSSET environment C. Okay. So this is like the first step, only to create the environment. Now the second video, we go directly on the installation of OnSSET.